Hello everyone. Today we will discuss some basic concepts of computer network. So what is a network? So a network is having some interconnection of computing devices. Now when we say computing devices, there can be any device like your laptop, your mobile, your printer, router, gateway and any other computing device. These devices are connected using some cables or you can say wires like QTP cables, coaxial cables, fiber optic cables, or they are connected with some wireless technologies like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, anything. These devices are communicating among themselves. For that they are using certain rules and regulations. That is called protocol. So that is called as a network of computing devices. Let's tell me where you can see the network. What are the applications of network? So you all might have seen a computer network in your school, in your college, for sharing resources, for uploading files, for downloading files and for many other purposes. We can see computer network in some businesses like for say bank, if we are performing some online transactions. At railways we are having facility of online booking. So these are the examples of computer network. All of us are familiar with the mobile network. We are using that network for communicating among each other. We are using that network for entertainment purpose. We play games, we download files and for other purposes. We are forming network at our home also. We are connecting our mobile and our computer, our printer, our headset. So that is also an example of computer network. There are different types of computer networks. What is the range of the network? Based on that we can classify the network, or how the devices are connected with each other, or which type of communication is carried out among those devices, and what is the use of the network. Based on that there are different classifications for the network categories. If the network is formed within a small range, like say within a room, so it is called as a personal area network. If the range is beyond the meter up to kilometer, then it is called as a local area network. And as the range increases, we can say it is a metropolitan area network and wide area network. And finally, we have the internet throughout the continent. What is a personal area network? The network which is formed for our personal use. Like say example, we are connecting our gadgets with our computer. So that is called as a personal area network because we have connected them to communicate, to share the files for our own purpose. So it is a very secure network, but the usage is very limited. We can easily form the personal area network. Local area network we can usually see within a building, in our labs, at different offices. We can see the local area network where the devices are connected using some cables or they are connected using some Wi-Fi technology. When this local area network is formed within a company, it can be also called as an enterprise network. It is having very low speed communication, but it is more secure compared to internet. It is easy to form, easy to manage. When we want to expand our range of a network, we form a metropolitan area network where different local area networks are connected with each other to form a large network. In our cities, we have seen television network, telephone network, and these local area networks are connected using some topologies like star topology, bus topology, mesh topology, and so on. We are using IEEE standard to standardize the metropolitan area network. We usually say it's a WiMAX, wireless wide area network. The range of the wide area network is among the countries and continent. It is the largest network where different lands and mans are connected with each other. We can see here some virtual private network. We can see the internet service providers network to form a wide area network. We usually say it's an internet. The whole computer network works on the layering concept. So now, what is the layering concept? When we have a big problem, we cannot solve it easily. So what we usually do? We divide the whole problem into small tasks and we handle the small task individually. So in a computer network also, for communication purpose and for sharing resources, the computer network will divide the task into small pieces. These pieces are nothing but called as a layer. Each and every layer has predefined tasks. They follow some rules and regulations when they communicate with the peer layer. This is the sender and this is the receiver. Then both the sides, they follow layering architecture. So each side have 7 layers. So when a specific layer is communicate with the peer layer, so they follow some rules and regulations, that is called as a protocol. When the layers are communicating with their upper layer or the lower layer, they use some interface. The layers are independent from each other. They just provide services to their upper layer. So there is an open system interconnection, that is OSI model, which is using 7 layering concept. 7 layers, where the bottommost layer is the physical layer and the topmost layer is the application layer. We will see the functionality of each and every layer in detail, but let us discuss the high level difference between the OSI model and the TCP/IP model. So in OSI model, all 7 layers were designed first and then the protocols were implemented on each and every layer. Okay, so that's why it is called as a theoretical model. But in TCP/IP, nowadays we are using the TCP/IP model for network communication, where only 5 layers are there. So how these layers are designed? Some of the applications are using even 4 layers of TCP/IP model. So that is a practical model where the protocols were designed first and then the layers were divided. So these are the two major models which are used to communicate in the computer network. So what is the advantage of this layering concept? If we have a small task, so it is easy to manage. For each layer, it is easy to design protocol. It is easy to replace the protocol. If we want to replace any hardware or any software, it is very easy. So that are the advantage, that we can have the standardized architecture over the world. But what is the disadvantage, or you can say the limitation of the layering concept? Suppose we have a very small problem, very small network. In that case, layering concept will not work because it may give some maintenance overhead. We have to compulsory design some protocols for all 7 layers where not too many tasks are assigned. And where there are multiple layers, there is a problem of synchronization too. In the next session, we will go in the further details of each and every layer of OSI model with each and every protocols used at each layer. By that time, stay home, stay safe.